So, good afternoon. Please say good afternoon. I'm now the person between the cocktail and the closing. So I think I will start by saying, as I started, how grateful and appreciative that we are, that all of you are here. And for the last 2 days, really enriching what I call a very successful event here in Delhi. Some of you have traveled from very far places. Some of you have postponed important meetings. So we are very much appreciative. In the end, we are just facilitators. All this will be possible because of the work that you guys do. So I want to thank you very much. Second, I think as Beta mentioned, I was very impressed by the quality of the panel that we had. Pretty much the type of people that impart so much knowledge, so much wisdom, the do's and the don'ts, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and what they faced as practitioners, as thinkers, as economists, as policymakers. I thought it was a very good panel. And I think also the choice of the topics, the level of detail that went into it was quite impressive. So it's really great kudos and great appreciation for all the work and all the support and all the participation that you guys have. Now, the hardest part comes. So we talked a lot. We asked many questions. So as every conference ends, people ask, what next? How do we keep this going? How do we keep this momentum going? And I think what IFC is going to do about this. I have been reflecting a little bit. I got some questions yesterday, why are you guys actually even hosting this event? Why are you interested in the climate space? We are interested because it is the right thing to do. It's not because of the politics of it. It is not because of some of the stuff that we hear on a daily basis, but we actually believe in it. It's the same way that IFC get involved over the last 60 years in a few key initiatives that have transformed markets, that have transformed countries. Let me give you a few examples. IFC actually came up with the word emerging markets. This was in the 1970s. Why was that important? Following that, we developed something called emerging market database. That essentially opened up portfolio investment to emerging markets. Before that database, investors were not interested actually. The type of risk talk that we have been talking about on climate was actually the fact of life, even considering investing in countries like India. That emerging market database today, for some of you who are familiar with the portfolio investing business, is what's called the MCI index, which IFC sold to Morgan Stanley. Since it has passed, nobody even really knows. In those days, in the 70s, 80s, early 90s, this was absolutely transformational. The second area that IFC got involved, when it was also pretty much a very contentious subject, was on financial inclusion, on microfinance. We were having the same type of conversation, whether the poor can actually pay it without government subsidy, and whether market interest rate could be charged, how the risk could be managed. For us, it was a very simple promise and a very simple premise. We wanted to solve access problem to people who don't have access, but do it on a sustainable basis. And today, you guys can see that the microfinance business is very sustainable, very profitable, and millions of people, especially women, are benefiting from it. The third example, today also it looks quite normal. IFC was the first to embrace the idea of mobile operators. In this region, we were the early investor in Bharti, Grameenphone, and Dialog. Grameenphone in Bangladesh and Dialog in Sri Lanka, where people were extremely skeptical whether there is anything that could take over the fixed telephone network. And you guys can see what happened today. All the applications that we use, all the things that we take for granted are happening because of that. So our approach to climate is the same way. We see good business, but we see actually also generational type of change that's going to be achieved by getting into a space like this. That's why I think we have been working at it for the last several years to get the analytics right, the business case right, the products right, the convening power right. I think we are now at an inflection point where there is a great deal of convergence by policymakers, by corporates, and by financiers to actually get this thing. And I think our role now is how do we facilitate and take this to the next level. And as I mentioned in my early talk yesterday, how do you mainstream it? Like what happened to microfinance, like what happened to the portfolio investment, like what happened to the mobile space. So, not only we are going to document and get all the stuff that you have seen in the last couple of days, we are going to remain very actively involved, facilitating innovation, facilitating financing, facilitating knowledge sharing in a much bigger scale. So that I think 3 years from now, 4 years from now, 5 years from now, we talk about specific issues instead of actually building cases why people should get involved in this business. I strongly believe that. So that is really why we are doing this and why we continue to do this. So if I am anyone interested in this business, both for its financial sustainability as well as its, as I said, generational benefit, I will bet on IFC because we pick winners. Winners financially, winners also developmentally, and in terms of impact. That's why we do what we do. Now, all this has been possible the last few days and all the work that we have done in India, in South Asia, because of the strong support that we are getting from governments. So the first, I think, thank you goes to the government of India. They have been extremely supportive of our efforts in this space, whether it's in renewables, on distribution, and also, as you saw yesterday, they were able to send us two honorable ministers, Minister Prabhu and Mr. Vardhan, to actually show how much committed that they are. So I cannot thank you enough how supportive the government of India has been. I think the next set of thanks goes to the speakers, the presenters, who have been really doing a great job, as I said, spending their time, their effort to share with us extremely valuable insights why they do and why they don't do things in different spaces in the climate space. I also want to thank our great moderator and MC. I think you did an outstanding job, so you deserve a round of applause. Thanks very much. I want to thank our sponsors, the Australian Aid, the European Union, Hero, Azure, and Team Sweden. They have been extremely supportive. Some of them were with us yesterday and today. They have shown not only the talk, but also the walk with us. So we thank them very much, and they deserve a round of applause. A bit higher. You guys are, there is cocktail coming. Thank you. Last but not least, as you can see, all this can be possible by a great deal of people that have been working behind the scene for months. I think this started in about maybe 6-8 months ago. A great team from Delhi and Washington. Many people to mention because if I miss somebody, I will be in big trouble, so I don't want to do that. But the people who are in the room, please stand up, and you guys deserve a great deal of round of applause. So people, everybody who have been involved in the organization of this, all of you, please. Thank you guys. Thank you very much. I think they have done really an outstanding job. And they deserve our gratitude and our appreciation. So with that, I am closing the forum. And once again, thank you very much. And look forward to see you in the next event, where we are going to discuss actually how much we invested and what is the next product that we are going to go after. So thanks very much, everybody.